Life is filled with blessings, big and small, but it's easy to overlook them when you're focused on what you don't have or what's not going right. Yet there is incredible power in taking the time to pause, reflect, and celebrate the blessings that are already present in your life. When you focus on your blessings, your perspective shifts, your heart fills with gratitude, and your joy increases. Celebrating your blessings isn't just about recognizing what's good in your life. It's about magnifying that goodness so that it becomes the center of your thoughts and emotions. So often, people wait for something extraordinary to happen before they allow themselves to be happy. They think, when I get that promotion, I'll celebrate. Or once I achieve that goal, I'll feel blessed. But if you're always waiting for the next big thing, you'll miss the blessings that are right in front of you. The truth is, there are countless reasons to celebrate every day. You just have to open your eyes and your heart to see them. Maybe it's the gift of waking up to a new day, the laughter of a loved one, the roof over your head, or the food on your table. These may seem like small things, but when you recognize them as the blessings they are, they become sources of joy and peace in your life. Celebrating your blessings doesn't mean that everything in your life has to be perfect. You may still be waiting for prayers to be answered, for dreams to come true, or for challenges to be resolved. But even in the waiting, there are blessings to be found. It's about learning to find joy in the process, not just in the outcome. When you celebrate the small victories along the way, you're building your faith, strengthening your spirit, and preparing yourself to receive even greater blessings in the future. One of the most beautiful things about celebrating your blessings is that it creates a ripple effect. When you choose to focus on the good in your life, you inspire others to do the same. Your joy becomes contagious, and your gratitude becomes a source of encouragement to those around you. You may never know how much your positive attitude and thankful heart are impacting others, but rest assured, they are. Your celebration of blessings can be a light in someone else's darkness, a reminder that there is always something to be grateful for. Celebrating your blessings also helps to keep your heart aligned with God's goodness. It reminds you that every good and perfect gift comes from Him and that His hand is always at work in your life. Even when things don't go as planned, you can trust that God is still blessing you in ways you may not even realize yet. By celebrating the blessings you can see, you're building the faith to trust in the blessings that are still on the way. Sometimes celebrating your blessings means simply slowing down and being present in the moment. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget to appreciate the here and now. But when you take the time to be fully present, to savor the beauty of each moment, and to thank God for the gifts He has already given you, you'll find that your heart naturally overflows with joy. Happiness isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you choose every day. Life is full of ups and downs, unexpected challenges, and moments that can shake your peace. But no matter what's going on around you, you have the power to decide how you respond. You can let circumstances dictate your mood, or you can choose to rise above them and embrace happiness. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means deciding that your joy isn't going to depend on what happens to you, it's going to come from within. Many people spend their lives waiting for happiness. They think, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I lose that weight, when I find the right relationship. But the truth is, if you're always waiting for something external to make you happy, you'll never truly be satisfied. Happiness isn't found in the future, it's found in the present moment. It's about appreciating where you are, making the best of what you have, and finding joy in the simple blessings of life. Choosing happiness starts with your mindset. It's about shifting your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what's missing to what's already there. When you wake up in the morning, you have a choice. You can focus on your worries, your frustrations, and the things that didn't go your way, or you can focus on your blessings, your opportunities, and the things you're grateful for. That simple shift in perspective can change your entire day. Happiness is also about letting go of things that steal your joy. Maybe it's the need for control, the tendency to compare yourself to others, or the habit of dwelling on past mistakes. These things can weigh you down and keep you from experiencing the happiness that's available to you right now. When you choose to release those burdens and trust that God is in control, you free yourself to live with greater peace, joy, and contentment. It's important to remember that happiness isn't about perfection. No one has a perfect life, and no one is happy all the time. But people who choose happiness know how to find the good even in difficult situations. They know how to laugh in the middle of the chaos, to smile through the challenges, and to keep their faith strong even when life doesn't go according to plan. That's the kind of happiness that lasts. It's not based on external circumstances, but on an inner sense of peace and gratitude. Happiness is also a reflection of your faith. When you trust that God has a plan for your life, that He's working everything out for your good, and that His love for you is unshakable, it becomes easier to let go of fear, worry, and negativity. You start to see life from a different perspective, one where every day is a gift, every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and every blessing is a reminder of God's goodness. Choosing happiness doesn't mean you'll never face difficulties or experience sadness. It means that even in the tough moments, you can hold on to hope, find reasons to be grateful, and trust that better days are ahead. It means refusing to let setbacks define you or steal your joy. Instead of focusing on what you can't control, you focus on what you can. Your attitude, your actions, and your outlook on life. When you make that choice every day, you begin to create a life that's filled with more peace, more laughter, and more joy. Happiness is also about taking responsibility for your own joy. It's not someone else's job to make you happy, it's yours. Too often, people place their happiness in the hands of others, expecting a spouse, a friend, or a job to give them the joy they're looking for. But true happiness comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, loving yourself as God created you, and finding fulfillment in your relationship with Him. In a world that can sometimes feel dark, uncertain, and filled with negativity, you have the incredible power to be a light to others. You have the ability to lift people up, bring hope to the weary, and brighten someone's day with even the smallest act of kindness. Being a light isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about letting your love, your compassion, and your faith shine in everything you do. It's about reflecting God's goodness in your words, your actions, and your attitude so that others can see His light through you. Sometimes it doesn't take much to be a light. A simple smile, a kind word, or a thoughtful gesture can make a world of difference to someone who's struggling. You never know what someone else is going through. They may be carrying burdens you can't see, facing battles they haven't shared, or feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges. But when you choose to be a light, you become a source of encouragement, strength, and hope for them. You remind them that they're not alone and that brighter days are ahead. Being a light also means choosing to stay positive, even when life gets tough. It's easy to let negativity take over when things don't go your way. But being a light means choosing faith over fear, hope over despair, and joy over frustration. It means keeping your heart full of gratitude, your mind focused on God's promises, and your spirit anchored in His love. When you stay positive and keep your light shining, you inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. You don't have to do something extraordinary to be a light. You just have to be intentional about sharing the light that's already inside you. Maybe it's offering a listening ear to a friend who's feeling down, volunteering your time to help those in need, or simply speaking words of encouragement to someone who's struggling. Whatever it is, when you choose to spread kindness, love, and positivity, you're making a difference in ways you may never even realize. Being a light to others also means being a source of peace in the middle of chaos. When everyone else is worried, stressed, or anxious, you can be the calm in the storm. You can remind people that God is in control, that there's always hope, and that things will get better. Your faith, your peace, and your unwavering trust in God can be a light that guides others through their darkest moments. It's not always easy to be a light, especially when you're facing challenges of your own. But when you keep your focus on God and draw your strength from Him, you'll find that your light never goes out. In fact, the more you give, the more your own heart will be filled with joy, peace, and fulfillment. That's the beauty of being a light. The more you share it, the brighter it becomes. When you choose to be a light, you're not just making a difference in the lives of others, you're also strengthening your own spirit. You're building your faith, deepening your relationship with God, and living out your purpose in a meaningful way. Being a light is about living with intention, loving without limits, and trusting that God can use you to make a positive impact in the world around you. Your light has the power to break through the darkness, to bring warmth where there's coldness, and to guide others toward hope and healing. It may not always feel like you're making a difference, but every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every moment of love adds up. You may never fully know the impact you're making, but God does, and He's using you in ways beyond what you can see. Being a light also means leading by example. People are watching how you handle challenges, how you treat others, and how you live out your faith. When you choose to live with integrity, kindness, and grace, you become a powerful testimony of God's love and goodness. In a world that moves fast and is filled with distractions, staying connected to God can sometimes feel like a challenge, but maintaining that connection is essential if you want to live a life of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. God is your source of strength, wisdom, and joy, and when you stay connected to Him, you're tapping into an endless well of grace, love, and power. It's like being rooted in fertile soil. Your spirit becomes nourished, your faith grows stronger, and you're able to withstand whatever storms life may bring. Staying connected to God doesn't just happen automatically. It's a daily choice, an intentional effort to prioritize your relationship with Him above the noise of the world. One of the most powerful ways to stay connected is through prayer. Prayer isn't just about asking God for things. It's about spending time with Him, sharing your heart, and listening for His voice. It's in those quiet moments of prayer that you can feel His presence, receive His guidance, and be reminded of His promises. Prayer strengthens your connection to God and brings peace to your soul, even in the middle of life's chaos. Another way to stay connected to God is by immersing yourself in His Word. The Bible is like a roadmap for life. It's filled with wisdom, encouragement, and truth that can guide you through every situation. When you read and meditate on Scripture, you're filling your mind with God's promises, and that truth becomes an anchor for your soul. It helps you stay grounded even when the world around you feels uncertain. The more you know His Word, the more you'll recognize His voice and His leading in your life. Worship is another powerful way to stay connected to God. Worship shifts your focus from your problems to His greatness. It reminds you of His power, His love, and His faithfulness. When you worship, you're not just singing songs. You're lifting your heart to God and expressing your love and gratitude for who He is and all that He's done. Worship invites His presence into your life and strengthens your connection to Him in a deep and meaningful way. Staying connected to God also means surrounding yourself with people who encourage your faith. The Bible says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. When you spend time with others who are passionate about their relationship with God, it inspires you to grow in your own faith. Whether it's through attending church, joining a Bible study, or simply having conversations with friends who share your beliefs, being part of a faith-filled community can help you stay connected and encouraged on your spiritual journey. It's also important to stay connected to God by being mindful of what you allow into your mind and heart. The world is filled with negativity, fear, and distractions that can pull you away from your faith if you're not careful. But when you're intentional about guarding your heart and filling your mind with things that are true, noble, and praiseworthy, you're creating an environment where your connection to God can thrive. Sometimes staying connected to God means simply being still and resting in His presence. Life can get busy, and it's easy to feel like you always have to be doing something. But God invites you to come to Him, to lay down your burdens and to find rest for your soul. When you take the time to be still and quiet before Him, you're creating space for Him to speak to your heart, to fill you with His peace, and to remind you of His love. Staying connected to God doesn't mean you'll never face difficulties or challenges, but it does mean that you'll have the strength, the wisdom and the peace to navigate them with grace and confidence. When you're connected to God, you're never alone. His Spirit is always with you, guiding you, comforting you, and empowering you to be the person He created you to be. It's through that connection that you'll find the courage to step out in faith, the patience to wait on His timing, and the joy that comes from knowing that you are deeply loved by your Creator. God's promises are not just words written on the pages of the Bible. They are real, living, and active in the lives of those who believe in Him. They are the foundation of our faith, the anchor for our souls, and the light that guides us through even the darkest moments. God's promises are a constant reminder that He is faithful, that He is in control, and that He has a plan for your life that is greater than anything you could imagine. When God makes a promise, you can be sure that He will keep it. He is not a man that He should lie, nor does He change His mind. His promises are unshakable, unbreakable, and eternal. The Bible is filled with God's promises, promises of provision, protection, peace, and purpose. He promises to never leave you nor forsake you, to be your strength when you are weak, and to work all things together for your good. These promises are not based on your circumstances or your performance. They are based on His character. God is faithful, and when He says He will do something, you can trust that He will bring it to pass. Even when you don't see how it's going to happen, even when it seems like nothing is changing, you can hold on to His promises and trust that He is working behind the scenes on your behalf. God's promises are real, but they often require patience, faith, and perseverance. Sometimes it can be hard to hold on to His promises when life doesn't seem to match what you're believing for. Maybe you've been waiting for a breakthrough, praying for a miracle, or trusting God for a specific answer, and it feels like nothing is happening. In those moments, it's easy to get discouraged and start doubting whether God's promises will ever come true. But it's in those seasons of waiting that your faith is being strengthened, your character is being refined, and your trust in God is being deepened. His timing is perfect. And when you stay faithful and keep believing, you will see His promises come to pass. One of the most beautiful things about God's promises is that they are not dependent on your circumstances. You may be facing challenges, setbacks, or difficulties, but God's promises remain true. He promises to give you peace that surpasses all understanding, even in the midst of chaos. He promises to give you joy that is not based on your situation, but on His presence in your life. He promises to give you strength for every battle, grace for every trial, and hope for every tomorrow. His promises are a source of hope and encouragement, reminding you that no matter what you're going through, God is with you and He is for you. God's promises are also a reminder of His unfailing love for you. He promises that nothing can separate you from His love, not trouble, hardship, persecution, or any other challenge you may face. His love is constant, unchanging, and unconditional. Even when you make mistakes, even when you fall short, His love for you remains the same. He promises to forgive your sins, to cleanse you from all unrighteousness, and to give you a fresh start. His love is the foundation of His promises, and it's what gives you the confidence to trust Him even when life doesn't make sense. Another incredible thing about God's promises is that they are meant to be experienced, not just read or talked about. God doesn't want you to just know about His promises. He wants you to live in them, to walk in them, and to experience their reality in your everyday life. He promises to give you abundant life, and that abundance comes from living in the fullness of His promises. It comes from trusting Him with every area of your life, from stepping out in faith and from allowing His Word to shape your thoughts, your actions, and your decisions. When you hold on to God's promises, you're building your life on a firm foundation. You're standing on the unshakable truth of His Word, and that foundation will keep you steady no matter what storms come your way. God's promises give you hope in the midst of uncertainty, strength in the face of adversity, and peace in the middle of the storm. They remind you that you are not alone, that God is in control, and that His plans for your life are good.